Now, all three exist in, of, the constitute and same individual, wherefore there must be at least two substances, different in toto from the three primaries, yet of nature enabling them to cling and to connect with the principles. What were these two substances? At a glance I saw the materials of human body gave forth an atmosphere which serves to connect it with the life, or material spiritual part of man, and ties to the soluble links both material and spiritual worlds. This is the odyllic sphere. What connects soul with the spirit? The second glance revealed to me the fact that every monad, carnate and unconscious alike, embodied or free, mere monad or developed soul, was surrounded by an atmosphere of its own, unique, single, atomless, homogeneous, and elastic. This envelope is very ethereal and is called the etheal. It connects the soul with spirit and unites all three worlds, body, soul, and spirit, together and constitutes not only the spheres, but the personal nebulae out of which the immortal spark creates its surrounding sphere or world. When disembodied and whereof it, while in the flesh, erects its stately chateau and espionage, its castles in the air. Here was a new solution of mystery that had troubled not only myself, but many a philosopher, and a solution, too, and perfect in strict accordance with the principles of the great Harmon Head. For the nebulous ocean enclosing the spatial halls of deity, wherein roll the starry systems, is the etheric envelope of the Eternal One, is the material whereof he, through his servants, the forces, fashioneth the mighty fabrics now floating in the azure. Following hard upon the last great discovery came another, not perhaps so sublime, but quite as useful. It was this: the mental effort whose results have just been recorded had the effect of uplifting my soul and firing it with ambition to such an extent or degree that, seeing how little I knew and how vast fields of unknown were, I regretted my poor, weak human nature, and almost hating it, became impatient of restraint because I could not take the wing and, flying to the grand center, merge my being into God himself, and thus becoming all-knowing, all-being, all-life. I was beset with the same sin that hurtled Lucifer down from the inferior heights of vast heaven, and like him, too, most bitterly did I regret my daring. For almost on the very instant that the sacrilegious thought took possession of my soul, my mind lost its clarity, my vision became dim and misty, my equanimity was lost, and was succeeded by a state of entirely different, a sort of childlessness of feeling. Almost instantly my soul lost sight of the magnificent field just opened to its inspection, and was forced by a power not then understood to turn completely round and direct its gaze earthward. Resistance being vain, I did so, and observed directly opposite the point of attack upon the spheral wall a window-like opening, through which I looked down the vista of the lane of light, bounded on either side by the impenetrable amorphous wall. One end of this lane terminated on earth, and the other in the soul world. And from the particular nature of the lesson shortly conveyed, I became aware of two things. First, that neither knowledge nor joy ever flow into the secret chambers of the soul, unless the receptacle vessel therein are duly prepared to receive them. For although knowledge may become a thing of memory, yet it can only remain stored up like a corn in a granary, and never become of positive value or serve as soul food, until that soul itself is in the condition to digest and assimilate it. Secondly, there could no longer be a doubt that I was being practically instructed by an invisible being of masterly wisdom and accomplishments, and from the nature of the emotions within me, to which his thought gave rise, there was but little, if any, doubt that this invisible teacher was the mysterious him to which Nellie had so mischievously alluded to when she invited me to come with her. If a woman is loved, no matter where she be, no matter by whom, or where the lover may be, she knows it instantly, without being told of it. It comes to her just as naturally as the vapors sail before the summer breeze. I knew that somebody loved me, and that, although unseen hereto, that someone was loved by me. The telegraph of affection is swifter and surer than the electric batteries, and even true woman knows it, no matter whether she be dead or alive. As the sense of this flashed over me, my heart went up into God, in such a prayer of gratitude as only they can feel and know, whose death yearnings have been fully satisfied. My soul rejoiced in its new tutelage, and praised God for this sense of presence in action, if not in sight, of one who took an interest in clearing my pathway to wisdom's coast. Thus early on my everlasting journey towards the shores of the infinite sea, a revelation concerning which will appear in the sequel, and one, too, compared to which the grandest and most beautiful things contained in the present volume are comparatively trivial. The further end of the lane of light terminated at a spot where was being enacted a scene of a drama wherein the actors were denizens of the three worlds, earth, soul world, and middle state. The lesson taught me that there was very often organization to a great extent governs and determines human destiny. Before a vast audience on a Sabbath night stood a lonely man, one with massive and active brain, but thin, weak, and puny body, therefore an unbalanced character. The woman who 27 years before had given him birth had imparted her own insensitive nature to her child, while the man whose agency God had incarnated the lonely one was of ambitious, affectionate, but passionate and passional nature. The son was thus congenitally biased and tainted, had grown to man's estate, and from various social and other causes he had been sang-mêlé, had suffered to such a degree that his soul was driven in upon itself to a great extent, which, while rendered him still more sensitive and morbid, also caused his soul to expand knowledgeward, become wonderfully intuitive and inspiring, yet bound up by affectional nature with his own personal or individual sphere.